We are the Church of the Larger Fellowship, the Unitarian Universalist congregation with no geographical boundaries. We believe in cultivating curiosity and transformation that is rooted in profound love.
For over 85 years, the ministries of the Church of the Larger Fellowship have circled the globe and crossed the walls of prisons. We are a spiritual lifeline for our over 2,000 members in prison, who are also connected to individual Unitarian Universalists through our letter-writing ministry.
In our online community, we offer weekly worship, classes, and groups. Our monthly magazine, Quest, supports the spiritual lives of thousands around the globe. We know better than anyone how deep and meaningful connections can be formed even from a distance.
We are proud to be a leader in this faith movement, and we invite you to get involved in our ministry. We strive to be a place where anyone from anywhere can find spiritual refuge anytime they need it. Welcome to the Church of the Larger Fellowship.
We are so excited to bring you an all-new episode of the Voices of Unitarian Universalism, known affectionately as The View.
The View is a weekly Unitarian Universalist talk show discussing important faith-based topics from an anti-racist, anti-oppressive, and multicultural perspective.
Since 2013, we have gathered every Thursday from September to June to welcome guests from around the world.
Our guests are writers, scholars, activists, and religious thought leaders who are shaping Unitarian Universalism and society for the 21st century and beyond.
We hope that today's show inspires you. We hope it builds your faith and gives you perspective to see the power of Unitarian Universalism at work in your life.
Welcome to The View.
Greetings, beloveds. Welcome to another episode of the Voices of Unitarian Universalism, affectionately known as The View, with two U's. Of course, I'm the Reverend Dr. Michael Tino. I am one half of the lead ministry team of the Church of the Larger Fellowship, the worldwide Unitarian Universalist congregation without borders or walls that has brought you this show for now 13 years. This is the 491st episode of The View. We're very excited by that. We're closing in on 500 quickly. I am joining you today from the land of the Quechuan, Wappinger, and Munsee Lenape peoples, known today as Peekskill, New York, about 35 miles north of New York City, where it is the most glorious of glorious spring days. Winterish came back for a little while.
Yeah, that was bullshit.
It got cold and rainy. It didn't actually snow here, which I think I would have had a nervous breakdown. But the cold and the hot and the cold, it's doing the dance. It's doing the dance here in New York. And today, spring is winning. It is 72 degrees and sunny. And it is other than the pollen, the most glorious day. And let me tell you, the mixture of Flonase and Zyrtec going on in my system, bring on the pollen, bring it on.
Better living through chemistry, baby.
I am here for it, beloveds, because I am looking out my window at a blue sky.
Your forsythias out?
Oh, the forsythias are done here.
Really?
The dwarf redbud tree in my front yard is red budding, and the bees. I went out there this past weekend, and I counted at least 4 different species of bee on the redbud tree, and they were not pausing for pictures, or I would have documented it. I tried so hard, because some of them were the teeny tiniest little minor bees. I mean, they were tiny little, and some of them were giant, big, fat bumblebees and carpenter bees, and it was I love spring. It's
Those are the Newfoundland retrievers of bees.
Yeah. How are you, DC?
I am okay. Hi, everybody. I am the Reverend DC Fortune. I am coming to you from Auburn, Maine, along the banks of the Androscoggin River, so named for the original inhabitants of this great part of North America when white people showed up. I served the First Universalist Church of Auburn, Unitarian Universalist, and it's like 45 today. Michael's got all the weather, apparently.
Yeah, we had 45 and rainy yesterday.
Yeah.
So maybe you'll have 72 and sunny tomorrow.
No, it's supposed to be like 40s and 50s all week. I want to file a complaint with somebody. I don't know who.
Talk to the manager.
Yeah, maybe I'll write to Janet Mills, the governor. Tell her the weather's broken. See, like I know Janet, like that will go nowhere. But yeah, and I just counted. We are not going to hit 500 until September.
Oh no!
Yeah, we don't have 9 more weeks.
Oh well,
we don't have 9 more weeks for episodes.
We literally end this season on 499.
Right.
So that means we get to open season 14 in September with 500.
That's awesome. We have to do something special,
spectacular of some sort.
We have to do something special for that. Dante, how are you doing, dear? Good with your dissertation and all of that stuff.
I am really, really good. Hello, welcome everyone. I am the newly minted Reverend Dr. Dante Hilliard.
Yay.
Defended my dissertation at Meadville Lombard on April the 7th. And,
nice.
Finishing up all of that, back end stuff and preparing for graduation. It's a very weird space to be in because I defended on the April the 7th. We don't graduate till March 31st. And that feels like such a huge gap.
You mean May 31st?
Yeah, May. Yeah, May.
Because I'm like, wow, that's a trick.
Yeah. So it just feels a very like a long sort of holding space. Like
a lot of liminal space.
So being in this space, because it's like I'm a former marathoner, so it's like if you've ever done a marathon, it's like you do it, you don't think you can, like your first one, like you do it, you're not sure you're gonna make it through, but you do it anyway, and you finish it. And if you don't go right back into training, you're like, what the fuck is like? What do I do with all this energy? Like, because you've been using it for such a very particular purpose.
Right. Sure.
So it's like your body's like, what's happening? Like, where are you? So it's a very interesting space to be in.
I guarantee you, I will never find out what it's like to actually have run a marathon.
Same here.
But having done a doctoral dissertation, I'm translating in my head.
Yeah, no, I have no desire to do either. Thank you very much.
And our viewers are congratulating you. Thank you.
Congratulations, thank you.
And
thank you.
Nicole is taunting us with the weather in Southern California and inviting us there. I will soon be in San Diego.
We're in the 70s here today, so now.
How come Chicago has nice weather?
We have a large body of water.
I got the ocean.
You've got the North Atlantic.
Our body of water can change faster than ocean. Because we're on a lake. You're on the ocean. So your water takes more time to heat up and cool down than ours.
My water never heats up. North Atlantic never heats up. It just don't. You go in July and your toes will be numb by the time you get up to your knees.
Now, we might be in the 40s or the 50s sometime before the week is out, but today we're in 71 or 77 or something like that.
Oh, nice.
So this will be a pretty day in Chicago. Land of the Council of Three Fires, the Ottawa, the Potawatomi, and the Ojibwe peoples. But yeah, it's good. I'm just kind of, in this weird space. Doing a lot of reflecting, I guess.
It's sort of like being in stasis, like you're sort of weightless and suspended in space. Yeah, that's weird.
Who knows? For some people, they're like, "Oh, that's a great thing that you have so much time to think," and for other people, they're probably like, "That's not a good thing."
Yeah, no. That much time alone in my head? No, bad news. Bad news. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Well, so we are hurtling towards the end of April and have not yet had our monthly theme conversation because we have been blessed with guests for the last couple weeks. The theme this month at the Church of the Larger Fellowship, and we have another guest next week who we're very much looking forward to. So this is the 1 week in April where we did not have a guest, and we can actually have our theme conversation. And our theme this month at the Church of the Larger Fellowship is pluralism. 7 of our themes are 7 of the Unitarian Universalist values, and we can go wherever we want with that conversation. But something that I've been thinking about, and I wrote my weekly message. If you're subscribed to the Church of the Larger Fellowship's weekly messages, you probably got it and ignored it, like most people do. But I wrote my weekly message and an article for our incarcerated members this week about thinking about like the ways in which we create spiritual containers for one another as an exercise of hospitality. And the way that I translate exercises of hospitality, given my cultural experience as an Italian American, is food. That's exactly right. And so it's like when you have a bunch of people over, you have to make sure that all of them are fed.
Right.
Right? So you have to have enough, and enough is easy.
But you have to have twice as much.
Well, if you're Italian, you have to have enough for them all to take home. Right. But, you also, if you're actually taking hospitality seriously, you have to know what your guests like and don't, what their dietary restrictions are and their dietary preferences, right? True. So you have to know, like, oh, this friend has celiac, so I need to have some of the food there that's gluten-free and prepared in separate pots and with separate utensils. And, my kitchen is never going to be gluten-free, but I know how to do the preparation work to make it at least friendly.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
Like if I'm baking something, I'm going to scrub all the pans and I'm going to bake the gluten-free stuff first.
Right.
Right? I know how to do the preparation. And that's not to say that my friend with celiac is going to be able to eat everything on my table.
Correct. And
might not even like all of the things that I make that are gluten-free. But something there is going to feed them.
Right.
Right? There's going to be something that I know they love and is just for them and will meet their dietary needs and will get them full. Right? And so I've come, I like to think about Unitarian Universalist pluralism as that sort of exercise. Right? We set a table for our people. And different ones of us know how to cook different things. Yeah. Right? Like we're not all equally skilled at the chef language. Some of us have to do some takeout, and that's okay. Right? It's okay. But if we're taking it seriously, we make sure that everybody has something that satisfies them, that fills them up, even if not everybody can eat everything.
Yeah.
Right. I think about, like, I'm allergic to melon.
What?
And, I'm allergic to melon. It makes me stop breathing. It's not fun.
Wow.
And,
that's serious.
I go to, like, breakfast buffets, and there's a giant bowl of melon. I went to brunch at a meeting over brunch last Saturday, and there was this big fruit salad, and most of it was watermelon and cantaloupe and honeydew, and it looked gorgeous. And I admired it from afar.
Right?
I didn't say to my host, how dare you put this thing that will kill me if I eat it on the table?
No.
because it's not like it will kill me if I'm in the same room.
Right.
Right? I would have told her in advance if it was like a peanut allergy and I couldn't be in the same room. But I didn't say, how dare you put this on the table to feed other people when I can't eat that. And I feel like some of our people say things like that.
That's an incredible thing. I'm thinking that sounds incredibly white.
What?
Like like the entitlement to.
Oh yeah,
I should be able to eat everything, even if I don't want to.
It needs to be made just for me. Is
Right.
Yes, white supremacy culture embodied.
Yep.
And so many of our colleagues get that kind of feedback at the beautiful spiritual spread that they create and lay out for their people week after week after week. And that, how dare you say God? I'm like, well,
I have one poor worship associate that just, the odds are, like, it's just rolled that way that the last 3 times he's been worship associate, the readings have been from the Bible. And he is like so atheist, and he's just like, okay, whatever.
And Josh Williams in our chat says, especially when Unitarian Universalists are talking about Christianity. And it's true. And part of that comes from the fact that many of us have been wounded by Christianity, which is the dominant hegemonic faith in American culture. And it's not an excuse. It's an explanation, but not an excuse, right? There are things that all of us can learn from the Christian scriptures.
Yeah. There's some good stuff in there. Some radical stuff in there, too.
Well, again, I think that part of pluralism is accepting that no one has the trademark or the patent on wisdom.
Right.
The more I have studied other traditions that I was not introduced to in my younger life, the more. And again, I'm speaking to Reverend Michael because, we share the whole science thing, like the research thing, right? Like, if you're unclear, you take in more information and you look for the patterns. Because there's some basic things. When you study the major religions across human civilization, there's just some basic shit that you're going to find everywhere you go. There's a cycle of death, of life, death, and resurrection. It's everywhere.
Yep.
It's everywhere.
And the number one rule seems to be don't be a dick.
Yeah, treat motherfuckers like you want to be treated. Boom.
That's right.
It's just a basic fucking principle. When you put bad energy out in the universe, that shit will find you. Basic. I don't care if you're a Christian, there's some version of that shit everywhere. And then all the major religions that have become also imperial and colonial powers. Have you noticed there's also a mystical sect of every one of those traditions? There's a sect of mystics. Even in humanism, you have sects of mystics.
Sure.
So that,
think about people sitting on the edge of the Grand Canyon and watching the sunrise, as a friend of mine did this morning, and it was a mystical experience for them that was completely naturalistic. It absolutely happens, but it's like the more something gets conflated with power and empire, the more necessary that that alternative view of it becomes.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, every tradition has avatars or characters who are addicted to power and abusing power. I ain't met a tradition yet that don't have somebody who's abusing power or addicted to power.
Because religious traditions are run by humans. Right?
People, man, they keep people in everywhere.
It's, well, like, they're the best and worst thing about church. Well,
You know, a lot more people would go to church if it wasn't for the people.
Mm-hmm. People being human, man. Pain in the butt.
Yeah, humans know how to fuck up a wet dream. That's the basic lesson I think across all the traditions. Humans know how to fuck up a multi-orgasmic wet dream. They really know how to fuck it up.
And so now pluralism is a multi-orgasmic wet dream, and I love that. I love that metaphor too.
You know, that's my new thing. I just want a multi-orgasmic life. That's my goal.
I wouldn't argue.
So I have a dear friend for many years who studied Russian and was fluent in it and taught me the one phrase I know in the Russian language, which is the Russian equivalent to each their own.
Oh, okay.
And it literally translates to every man jerks off his own way.
I love that.
And it's like, and everybody is entitled to pleasure. And we all get it differently, right? We all get it differently. Thankfully, that line is not blurred in our pluralistic tradition unless we're misconducting. But that's why I went with food. That's why I went with food, Dante. But you go right with orgasm. I'm 100% with you on your metaphor.
I would just run right down the lane. Josh made us a statement. He says, when you say people, you really mean selfishness. Well, actually, Josh, when I say people, I mean, I think this is a test that we all have to pass. All of us will be given the option to snort some power. Every last one of us will be given the option to snort power and get addicted to it. And we have to decide if we want to be power addicts or not.
So Darby doesn't want the multi-orgasmic thing on a T-shirt, but she wants it on a stick. She wants it on a sticker next to her Our Whole Lives Comprehensive Sexuality Education sticker.
Yes.
Dante, you just said something fascinating where everybody will have an opportunity to snort some power.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm remembering, I really wish you'd been able to be there when we had Daniela Mestenek-Young on, who talked about cults and growing up in a cult.
Yeah, for those of you who haven't seen that episode, it's episode 486 in our archive. So.
Yeah, she's absolutely amazing. And and she has this book called The Culting of America, where she talks about strategies and methods of cult creation and maintenance and blah, 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 blah. And I said to her in that session, I'm like, this is the perfect, like, I could build a mega church with this if I didn't have ethics. And that's damned inconvenient, because here's the thing that will, cause my numbers to grow and the money to come in and blah, 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 and all the things we say we want about church, but no.
Pesky
oh, man.
Yeah. Because that's the difference between those of us who have all those same giftings, those same opportunities, is whether or not we've chosen to be power addicts or not.
And interesting thing, because I had a conversation yesterday about, in congregational ministry, there's this delicate line between the minister needs to be public and you don't want to be the minister to be the only face of the congregation, right? And so after 40 years in 12-step recovery programs, I have worked really hard to train myself away from attention seeking, okay, and self-promotion, which is sort of a problem now. because people want me to be like out front and doing stuff, um, and I just like it is so antithetical to what I know to be healthy for me, right? Because I'm a good addict. I can get out there, like I can get hooked on that dopamine, baby. You know, and you get that feedback loop, and it's just the energy comes and I experience that when I preach to a talkback church. Like every now and then, I get somebody who will invite me to preach at a black church, and that response. Oh man, that is a feedback loop of dopamine, and 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 much as I enjoy it, it's probably really good that we don't do that. Really good for me, like health wise. Because I would just get sucked into that. So yeah, I mean,
It's interesting. Someone wrote about that recently as even just not necessarily this like super overt feedback, but like even just preaching to people, you see them nodding, and you tell a joke and they laugh, and you know that the joke landed. And Dante and I spend our ministry at the Church of the Larger Fellowship, where our worship is online and our Zoom chat is turned off during the sermon, because we have found that
feedback.
Well, we found that there are people who use screen readers to read their chat, and if people are chatting in the Zoom, it talks over the sermon. So it's just for accessibility purposes, we turn off the Zoom chat during the sermon. And like, so sometimes people put hearts on the screen. Like you can put reactions, but you don't get chat, you don't get feedback, you don't see the people, you don't see their faces, you don't see their nodding, and we push through anyway. And you know what? It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. And people give us all the feedback afterwards. We have a moment of reflection, and people are, oh my God, that changed my life, or that I'm really thinking about this. I'm really struggling with this. You really challenged me. You really opened up that scripture in a new and beautiful way, or oh my God, that really pushed my buttons. Like whatever people say,
right?
Because they say it all. It's not the real-time feedback, and it is different. It is very different.
I wonder, because I also think, along the lines of pluralism, I think if you are invested in pluralism as a normative reality, it makes it harder to become a power addict. So people who are addicted to power, I think, are antithetical to, I think they are opponents of pluralism.
Well, yeah. Because it's about the individual ego and not the community of diversity.
Well, I mean, I look at the Hate Pumpkin and his fascist cronies here in the United States, the current administration, and it's not even subtle, right? Because they don't do subtle.
It's ego on display.
So last night, one of CLF's affiliated community ministers, who is an army chaplain, gave her D-Min, Doctor of Ministry presentation. And I attended. CLF actually hosted it on Zoom. And it was on pluralism in the military. And I will put a pin in this. I don't want to go down this tangent because it's not exactly what I want to say, but like I was struck by the fact that military chaplains are not actually required to have any training whatsoever in pluralism, in dealing with other people's theologies, which was absolutely mind-blowing to me, because my chaplaincy training was in a hospital where the very first thing they did was make sure we knew that our theology was always the secondary theology in any room we walked into. Right?
Yeah.
But but the Department of Defense and, the people addicted to power who run that department are actively dismantling pluralism in the military. They are reducing the number of religions that service members can choose on their official, like what gets printed on their dog tags, from 225, and a list of 225 that is not enough, it's not big enough, to 35. And they haven't released the list of 35. But there are a whole bunch of people whose dog tags are going to read other or none. Because they're being made othered and nunned by the people, the fascists who are addicted to power and against pluralism, like literally against pluralism, against theological pluralism, against religious pluralism. They do the Christian Holy Week. They had evangelical Protestant worship in the Pentagon. They did not have mainline Protestant worship. They did not have Catholic worship. And in previous administrations, they had several flavors of Protestant and also Catholic worship during Christian Holy Week, because there are different people who experience the rituals of the same holiday differently. But this year there was just evangelical Protestant worship in the Pentagon. Because even Christianity is getting boiled down to their version, the version that is being used to further their Christian nationalist aims.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. I have a former.
And Josh is right. Yes, indigenous traditions are likely to be erased.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the closer it is to the land and the original peoples, the more it's going to be. They're going to attempt to wipe it out, but they've been trying that for centuries. Unfortunately, indigenous people, Twinkies, and roaches will still be here at the end. Like, if we were going to be gone, we'd been gone.
And Cher. Don't forget Cher. Cher will be there too.
I think that stuff's going to biodegrade soon. So
someday. Someday.
Too much styrofoam, man. It never goes away.
Someday we'll actually have to break out the now Thatcher's dead.
But yeah, they really tried. But what was I'm losing her name, but she wrote this book when I was in seminary. It was called Beyond Monotheism, and Laurel Schneider is her name. I think she's a graduate of Vanderbilt, and because she was teaching our courses while she was developing this, we spent a lot of time talking about the over-reliance on oneness, right? Because if we convince everyone that God is one, singular, all-powerful, then imperial rule becomes the secondary line of that power, that oneness of power. So that the systems of the earth were built on a oneness model to limit who has power. It's like the greatest spell ever spun.
When I was doing my chaplaincy training, we had one of our educational modules was led by a chaplain in that hospital, Daryl Owens at University of North Carolina Hospital. He's still there. I looked him up recently. And he did a module on racism, race and pastoral care, and he like broke open my thinking on that, because he is a Black Christian, and from his theology, the theology of the Trinity actually is how he breaks away from that. Right? God is not just one. God is also three.
Yeah. Which is a huge argument.
And I was like, boom. And God has different forms in that theology, and like just made me think about it in think about that theology, which is very much not my theology. Like, I was a Unitarian before I knew it. Very much not my, but made me think about that in a different way. Because, you know, he was like, well, you know, Jesus is like fully God, like, but Jesus is also fully human. And I don't need to, I will do him a disservice, but it used the Christian notion of the Trinity
Yes.
to make a very similar point to what.
Yeah, a lot of Christians who grow in their deconstruction. I mean, we talk about this in seminary a bit. Number one, the model of the Trinity comes from one of the African fathers of Christianity that no one ever names as, oh, they're African, like Saint Augustine, African. Like fathers were not all European or primarily European. Yeah, but again, y'all still think Cleopatra looks like Elizabeth Taylor. Anyway, so that the communitarian notion of God in Christian history it comes out of the African tradition of Christianity that got embedded. And, you know, if you study Christian history, this has been war. This has been like warfare. Even in the tradition I come from Pentecostal tradition that has a spectrum, and you have the Father, Son, Holy Ghost Pentecostals, the Trinitarians, and then you have the oneness ones, where Jesus is the one, and everything is in that. So you wipe out everything else. It's just Jesus, and that becomes a heretical line to determine if people are speaking truth or not, which is, you know, interesting. But yes, oneness is Laura Schneider's book is, like I said, I never read the book. I just listened to her lectures while she was writing the book, but it did help a lot of us think about this notion of there's an agenda behind oneness.
Well, and if you look at intercultural development, right? There's a stage of intercultural development called minimization, where like our guiding belief is that everybody is the same. Right? And
we're all human, blah, blah, blah. Right.
And we are challenged to grow past that and understand that everybody is actually not all the same.
Yeah.
And then we're challenged to grow further and actually learn to appreciate and honor all of those differences.
Yeah.
But like everybody is the same in intercultural development speak is a stage that we're challenged to get out of.
Right. Like it's a step up from it's only me and everybody else is a demon. Like
that's
it's
correct.
A step up,
that's correct.
But it's not the final stage. Like it's just a part of the growth.
The pupa. It's the pupae stage. It's the little cocoony thing.
Yeah, like you know, we see it in, again, the LGBT rights movement. We saw, we're just like you. Bullshit. I call bullshit. And number one, I don't want to be like you. I like being in my club. I like living in Alphabet Street. And if you don't belong here, I don't want you here. No. I like being a part of exclusive. Yeah, no. It's fine.
Well, I mean, every person needs three things identity-wise. They need to know that they're absolutely 100% unique. My fingerprints, my DNA, nobody else like me, right? I am unique. We also need to know that we are part of an enormous humanity, right? We are very much the same with everybody else. And then we need our tribe, right? Which is our family, our community, our whatever. There's this little group of people that affirm and protect us and nurture us and that kind of stuff.
Right.
And what that little community does makes the difference with all the other stuff. Does that little community say you're special just by yourself and everything else is wrong? Or does that community say, this is awesome, you are unique, yes, we're part of this big thing, but let's explore and see what else is going on.
Mm.
Right? Let's see what we can learn together.
Yeah,
That's a different thing.
Yeah, the challenge of community is holding all of the difference and figuring out what do we have in common in the midst of that difference that we can harness, focus on, move forward together, right? Like, yes, bring all of you, and what are the things that we all can agree on? What are the, like,
Yeah.
we all want to live in a world where we can all be in our highest potential. Oh, okay. Like that, it cuts through the bullshit, the illusions, and gives us a way to be really different and still be a unit, a system.
Well, and part of white supremacy culture is either or thinking, right? So there's not this. We can't hold the complexity in a white supremacy system that we are all different and we are all the same at the same time.
Right.
Yeah, that's it. And not only are we all, DC, I preached this Sunday, and my message was about, our theme is pluralism, but it was about the pluralism, our interior pluralisms, right? That we are many. We're not just one, because we've lived many lives. Like, we've all went through many transitions in our lives, right? Where we had to let go of an older version of ourselves to move into a newer version. And that's part of, we are plural even in our individuality. We are plural. We have many selves inside of us. And one of the things I talk about in my dissertation was, I was like naming some of these stages, and my ancestors were, and I'm saying it in this really beautiful and powerful way, but when I finished rereading it, my ancestors let me know, the only reason you can speak beautifully about these different selves that you've been over time is because you learned to fall in love with each version of yourself. And where you found it hard to be in love with that version of yourself, you at least found a deep empathy and a deep form of compassion for that version of yourself, which actually is another form of love, right? So it was like, so that even part of the journey is learning to love not just our oneness, but our manyness, our plurality, which I think when we work on our internal pluralism, it makes it so much easier to also be in the pluralism that lives outside of us.
It was a beautiful way of taking on pluralism that new to me and new to lots of people, and really I think resonated well. And if you don't know, you can access the CLF Worship Archive at clfuu.org/worship. And you can listen to Dante's service there. It's in our worship archive. So
I'm making notes.
Oh, Leilani wants us to know she's here. She was a little late, but she made it.
Hey, Leilani.
Well, we're glad. And So pluralism. That's our topic for the month, and it's
and we have had, to be fair, we have had some pretty diverse folks on.
Oh yeah.
I'm thinking about the North Omaha cat lady, who was an absolute trip, and had just wonderful sort of living historical memory of queer stuff, like in Minneapolis in the 90s and 80s. And we had Daniela, who talked about cults and the cult of the U.S. Army. We had Maggie Weber.
And 2 weeks ago, we had H.P. Rivers, of Blessed Be, who, among other things, told us the story of their ongoing battle with homophobic neighbors over putting a very tiny rainbow flag out in their garden.
Yeah.
And the neighbors' insistence that there are HOA rules, and that's been complicated. I invite you to follow them.
There's no HOA, right?
There's not really an HOA. There's just this one neighbor that likes to oppress people and pretend that they're the HOA. It's great. But at one point, they'd hung a rainbow flag that was like an index card sized on their front door, and got a letter from the HOA that they could only have wreaths on their front door.
Really?
So today in HP's mail, they will be receiving this.
That's a wreath, baby.
I got my ass to Michael's and
Wow.
bought me some silk flowers and made them a wreath. And
Wow,
it is the gayest fucking wreath you have ever seen in your
wow.
life.
It needs glow sticks.
I'm sure that HP can add the glow sticks because those will
Probably
need to be those will need to be refreshed.
Well, that's true.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's amazing, Michael. That's awesome.
So.
And attached to a little Bluetooth speaker that plays like circuit music, but that's a whole nother thing.
Right? Yeah. A little motion sensitive thing that like plays like Cher or
like Martha Wash just
carry on.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, and we have a carryover guest next month, who due to schedule couldn't be with us this month on pluralism. So we'll get to revisit this a bit with Brent.
Well, and Brent will actually be a great bridge from pluralism to justice because he talks about pedagogy of the oppressed.
Right.
And
he's going to be on bridge right after, because next week we have Catherine Childs, who is the president of LREDA, the Liberal Religious Educators Association. And also, I think it's executive director, I'm not exactly sure, of the UU Hysterical Society, which is a Canada-based satire and humor online resource for sanity. It's wonderful. But Catherine, as an educator, has really good stuff to say about this. So, yeah. You know, this spring has been pretty badass for The View.
We are, and we still need to rebook Bishop Brown of the Fellowship of Affirming Ministries. She had a family emergency the week she was scheduled to be here, and I'm really looking forward to meeting her and talking about radical inclusivity.
She's
and
amazing.
Hopefully we can get her on before the spring is over. It is also here at the Church of the Larger Fellowship, our annual membership renewal season. And you can find more about that at clfuu.org/renewal. And included in that is the opportunity to have conversations with our own Darby Lockridge, treasurer of CLF and frequent commenter and View superfan.
I haven't seen Darby today.
Darby's been around.
Darby's in there.
Are they? There's Darby. Sorry.
If you love the things that Darby says, maybe you want to have a conversation about what membership in the Church of the Larger Fellowship means with her. And clfuu.org/renewal will, if you're a member, renew your membership. If you're not a member, you can become a member. And if you are a member and would like to have a conversation, you can sign up for those things, all on that website. I have to spend just half a minute, and by that I mean probably the next 10 minutes, crowing about how absolutely gorgeous the new Church of the Larger Fellowship website is. Our web team, led by Cameron Seymour Hawkins, our technology manager, did an absolutely kick-ass job overhauling our website, making it inviting and easy to navigate and easy to connect with the congregation and get more engaged, and find the things you want to find. And there are parts of it that are still being rolled out, like our archive of every Quest article ever published, because it takes a little bit to get those in the right format.
Right.
But it is there is all roads lead to the same website now. It used to be
nice because it's like 3.
It used to be DC that we had not 3 but even 4 different URLs that went to different websites. And that was not my choice.
Talk about pluralism.
It was plural. It was like not the good kind of pluralism.
Yeah,
it was fucking.
It was
confusing.
Like the class project kind of pluralism. Everybody brings a piece from home, and they try and stick it together.
And you hot glue it together.
Yes, absolutely. It was an outfit from Drag Race, honey. It was made with staples and hot glue, honey.
And it has been professionally tailored.
Nice.
It's a beautiful site.
And zhuzhed and upgraded, and it is pretty and functional, and we invite you to go check it out.
And who is the person that did that?
Primarily Cameron Seymour Hawkins, our technology manager. But we have a fantastic team. Ashley Parent, our communications manager, and David Pinchon, our data specialist consultant. And actually everyone on the CLF team, Dante and Catherine, our learning fellows, and Aisha and myself, and Jody Molloy, our executive director, and Paul Spandigel, our prison ministry administrator, we all wrote things. We were all involved at some level in collecting pictures and
can we get rid of the pictures of me back when I had hair?
We can,
because I look at them and I'm like, wow, no.
We can.
But
I mean,
no, the thing is that like,
at some point we'll make a new intro video.
Jobs? Can Samurai? Just because
I don't know.
Like, I'm sure we are not. My congregation is not alone in its desire to redo its website.
Well, they are a full-time employee of the Church of the Larger Fellowship, but that does not preclude them from having a side hustle. As we know, in this, I don't know what their capacity is for that.
Okay.
So.
Okay, and I'm sure someone that smart, if they will know their capacity, and if they can't do it, then they can point me towards somebody who could.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So they did a really lovely job.
You should check if you haven't seen the new site.
Yeah, I totally want to go see that. Yeah, I'll check that out.
It is very, very user friendly, very what I call scannable, because in this world,
right?
If it's got too many layers in, people will just move on. It's very intuitive. It's very scannable.
Nice.
And it adheres to all of the most up-to-date guidelines for website accessibility.
Yes,
in terms of
absolutely.
Contrast and fonts and how screen readers interact with it and all sorts of things like that. Because Cameron knows,
cool. Yeah.
Cameron knows all of those guidelines too. It works on mobile devices. It didn't. The first version of it did not. And
every page has got a button that says "Click to donate here."
Absolutely.
Every page has a "Click to donate" button.
We rely on the generous gifts of our friends and members to make this ministry happen.
Mm-hmm.
I know we're about to go, but I do want to say very quickly, and Reverend Michael will probably laugh. I remember when I entered the CLF as a learning fellow, and it was like my first weekend, and we'd had a service, and someone had made some interesting comments about someone else's sermon, like, this is so US-centric, and it's so this, and it's so that, and it's da-da-da. And I was like, oh, shit, I might be in the wrong place. And And I remember going to Reverend Michael and I was like, look, I'm very particular. I'm a boutique item. I'm not a mall. You can't buy me off the rack. I'm very, very much me. I'm the best me that ever made. But everybody don't like the flavor over here. And I need to know, are you sure? Like, are you really, really sure?
And Michael
that y'all want me
said,
to do this?
yeah.
And he was like, absolutely. It was like, they get enough of all the white stuff and everything else from me.
I did. I literally said that to Dante. I'm like, listen, this is enough whiteness for the entire Church of the Larger Fellowship.
But I still didn't believe it. Like I'm sure at some point I just stopped because it was starting to just like be ridiculous. So like it was like a first couple months I kept saying, are you sure? Like, here's what I'm thinking. Are you sure? Like, look, just do it. Like, just
bring yourself.
And there are very few places in this world, including some of our own families of origin, where people say, show up as yourself. We welcome you to show up as yourself.
Yeah.
And the thing that I love about being at the CLF is we ain't talking it if we ain't trying to walk it. And that is what I think makes CLF so effective and so wonderful.
And to bring it back to pluralism, sometimes people just trying out pluralism and not really deep into it also get to a place where I'm going to go back to my metaphor. So my brunch host put a beautiful fruit salad on the table. And I didn't berate her for putting that fruit salad on the table. I just admired it from afar. But there are people who would have come to that brunch and berated the host for serving something that I was allergic to on my behalf. And I put that in air quotes.
I'm being an ally, damn it.
That's right. And so I think we
let me help
in our testing ground, right? Like, because we're all growing and we're all learning and we're all transforming. And so I want to say this non-judgmentally because everybody is on the journey in different spots, right? That sometimes people come into this experience of pluralism and get upset on other people's behalfs. Like, I know I'm a theist, but how dare you say God that many times because there are people who are atheists here, right? Like, and that doesn't work either. that doesn't work either.
You want people to stand up. You want people to confront racism.
Yes.
And we want people to confront, essentially dickish behavior. But we need to be aware what that is.
Yes.
And the difference between exclusion and inclusion.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, but if pluralism is your value, you don't have to practice inclusion.
Right.
Inclusion is what people who don't pluralism, like that's the light beer version. Inclusion is a light beer version of pluralism.
Oh dear.
It's what we call it OEM. It's an after factory part.
Right.
To try to retrofit shit. But if you build an apartment, you don't have to practice inclusion.
Right.
Pluralism comes with inclusion built in.
Yeah. It's factory specs. Yeah.
Right.
And that's why I like
Nicole Thibodeau writes that interrupting stuff sounds like policing, not allyship.
And there's a fine line.
Yep.
And folks need to learn it by trying.
Yeah.
Right? Need to learn where that line is by experimenting with it sometimes.
And sometimes
I get that and I appreciate it.
Sometimes we learn by knocking our shins into stuff.
Yep.
Right?
Like there are some people who do not walk until they can do it perfectly.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Like my kiddo who
really
she did not walk until she was just like, okay, listen, here I go. And there are some people
I need to get upstairs, so.
There are some people who try and fall down and get up and fall down and knock into stuff, and like we all
your
learn
kid
it
reads
differently.
directions to stuff too.
Now, not so much, but like
okay.
So
there's hope.
All right. Well, it is 1:00, beloveds. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much
for this beautiful hour of conversation. And we will see our viewers next week with Mix Catherine Childs.
Yes.
And we're going to be talking about hysterical things.
Awesome. All right.
So be well, beloveds.
See you.
Be well, friends.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us. Special thanks to everyone who gives generously to this ministry. It is because of you that this ministry is possible.
Visit clfuu.org/give to make a contribution.
We hope you will join us next week for another episode of the Voices of Unitarian Universalism.